So thanks everyone for joining in for a little walk to SOX Compliance with me. My name is Akash Mishra, and today I'm the host for this session. Also, I want to congratulate everyone in the Pakistan Dreamin team, including Hamza, Kurat, and the entire team of Pakistan Dreamin for bringing up such a great show. I've been part of the first edition of Pakistan Dreamin, and this is the second one for me, and I'm really very excited about it. So I have joined a couple of sessions since morning, and they are marvelous. Means I really love that. And for making any event possible, for making any of the events, community events successful, we should thank our sponsors for the same because of the hard work and the efforts they give in just to make our event successful for the community and give us a chance actually to no matter from where we come, right? We are part of this Ohana, and thanks to all the sponsors, Auto, PDF Butler, Media Monks, Gridmate, and a special thanks to the Trailblazer community team for making these events possible. And here we are to share, and that's what we do and we love. So my name is Akash Mishra. As I already told you, my pronouns are he, him, and his. I'm also the co-founder of nonprofit Dreamin, SFDA Sprint contributor. It's a great place to be. So please, if you get a chance, never miss a SFDA Sprint. That's really awesome. And since 2020, I think they are getting online. So it's easier for the folks like me to sit back at their homes and join remote. So that's a great place. I'm also a Salesforce MVB of 2022. I'm a technical architect working at DaysWorks with 11 certifications, including the application architect. I'm also 600 plus Trailhead strong. So it's been a great journey for me to have been learning from those Trailhead badges. There are some fun facts about me. I was a chef before turning into technology. I was working as a junior chef at Holiday Inn in Agra. You know where the Taj Mahal is? So the same place, there is Holiday Inn as well, where I worked as a junior chef. I'm actually because I love cooking, I love eating as well. So I'm extreme foodie. I have been a core team member for the India Driven 2017 and 18 for both the years, and it's been a great journey overall since the day I stepped into Salesforce. So thanks everyone for being a part of my journey, my life. Thank you so much. Now let's get started on SOX. So as I mentioned here in the agenda, SOX mandate formal data security policies, communication of the policies, and consistent ongoing enforcement and governance. If you see, I have highlighted ongoing, and the reason behind it is that SOX is not a one-time deal, right? Every year, the companies, the public companies, they have to submit the SOX reports, and because they have to do it every year, they need to have the internal SOX audit teams which work internally just to check where are the loopholes, where are the gaps in security in their policies, right? So those can be mitigated because SOX itself is very serious matter for any organization which is in US and is a public limited company, right? And it is mandate for each one of them. Uh, if you do not follow the norms of SOX or do not comply with the policies of SOX, no, I'm afraid there is a huge fine as well as there is some imprisonment as well. So it is like $5 million approx that you have to pay if you do not comply if you are a public limited company, and even if I mean, and you can also be taken into 20 years of lifelong imprisonment, which is horrific, right? So it is mandatory. So it is a serious concern for many organizations who are using technology and who are using, who are the public traded companies. We'll talk about that in a little while, but the agenda for today will remain like why and what and how about SOX. So SOX what, SOX why, and SOX how, right? So before doing anything else, before learning about anything else, let's see what exactly SOX means. So SOX stands for Sarbanes-Oxley Act of 2002, was passed by the United States Congress with the goal of providing security for the consumers and the general public against corporations acting maliciously and carelessly. So this is about SOX. It was passed in 2002, and I will talk a little more here in this slide. So all public traded companies in the USA must comply with SOX. So what are public traded companies? Oh, that's a big question, right? So I'll explain this by, I mean, simple terms, right? In the simple terms, any organization, any organization who is authorizing general public to actually buy or sell their stocks on the stock exchange is a public listed or public traded company, right? Public traded company, publicly held company, publicly listed company, or public limited company. All those companies that have their shares listed on any of the stock exchanges, which allows the trading of their shares to the common public. Anyone can sell or purchase the shares of the companies from the open market. All those organizations, all those companies needs to be SOX compliant, right? Now, let's move on to the next slide. What about the SOX audits, right? So basically, there are external auditors who visit the companies. They check there are different actually key areas which they enforce in the SOX audit. So basically, all those companies, right, which are public traded companies, they actually uh, set up an internal team for timely, and I think few of the companies they do it like quarterly, some do it half yearly because they are much stable now. Few of the companies who are newly public traded companies, how they are doing it is like they do monthly audits. So it is an ongoing thing. It keeps on happening year after year after year after year. So once you're stable, you can change the term for what you run the internal audits, like quarterly or half yearly, right? Something like that. So auditing the company's internal security controls is often the most complex and time-consuming part of SOX. This is because internal controls include all the company IT assets such as computers, hardware, softwares, and all the electronic devices that can access financial data. So take for example, talking about a software, right? Software as in any software, or I can give an example of Salesforce as well. So take for example your organization, you are a public traded company, you are having your own Salesforce org. Now, inside a Salesforce org, must be so many different users who comes from different profiles, personas, roles, right? And they are accessing the Salesforce org as well as data, what access they have, what they do, what are the work areas, what are the common practices. Uh, so all those things needs to be checked thoroughly. Even what are the connected apps, right? What are the installed apps? How those apps are utilizing the Salesforce data, right? How they are accessing the data in Salesforce, right? All those comes under the audit. Now, uh, what are the key areas, right? This is one of the biggest topics. Uh, for this time, that SOX requires all the financial reports include an internal controls report. The report should show that the company financial data is accurate. A 5% variance is permitted. Means all the financial reports that are published or that are submitted by an organization or a public limited company, the only variance that is possible, right? It can be like plus or minus 5%. That is permissible, right? Other than that, you may have to encounter like a big something like uh, as I mentioned, there are fines, right? So which you have to pay. So it's better that you start now, you start today, and get that things done. Uh, that will actually help you to be more stable in the coming future. So what are these controls? Key areas to focus on are IT security. right? Access controls who does what and what access is given to multiple users based on roles, profiles, personas. Data backup and best practices, where your data is stored, how you are backing up your data, is it secure, and what are the different the modern world protocols while you are building an integration, or what are the third party tools you are using for any like any of the intermediate tools. I would say like Jitterbit is one of them. Like how they are using it. Is there any protocols that are being used in exchange of data, and how the change management is taking place, right? For any new development, for any new changes in the org, right? All those things come under change management, and how you're controlling. So, SOX audit actually nowhere tells you that you shouldn't do this, but you should have all the answers for the external auditors, because they'll be asking you the questions, and you are the one who will be providing the answers to them for any sort of thing that they come up that they see. You must have to answer all those questions. So it's better to be ready with your answers, right? Anything that can change, that can bring a change to the financial data. Take for example the sales team who is creating an opportunity in Salesforce, right? Now, the service team, if they are going in the opportunity and making any changes, or take for example a sales manager who is just looking at the reports, who is not creating any opportunities, should not even have access to change making changes to the opportunity, not the amounts, not the products, not the prices, nothing else, right? He does not, he shouldn't have access to all those. He can see though if it is required, but that needs to be answered, right? So let's move on to the next. For because I am emphasizing more on the public traded companies, but here are a few of the benefits actually of SOX, of being a SOX compliant organization or a company. So there are certain benefits that it comes up when you start working on SOX. So there are certain benefits, no matter you are a public traded company or not, but these benefits are common to any organization or any end user who is using Salesforce, right? Who are the Salesforce customers. So improved data security, right? Controlled access to financial data, timely detection and reaction to the security threats by doing the audits, internal audits to find out the loopholes and the gaps, restore public confidence in your business entity, because it really boosts, if you are a SOX compliant organization, it really boosts your market. It really boosts your the people who really want to invest in you, right? Because the shares can be held by the general public. It is really very uh, there is so much at stake that if you are compliant, it really gives a good impression for people that whatever their investment they are making in your shares is really something that can help them, right? That cannot be um, proved malicious, or the data provided by your organization is correct to the for the public, right? For the SOX Excel teams, right? And it is not mentioned in these slides, and I think I should tell you a little about who are the people responsible in an organization. Um, so there are two people, two roles, and two people who are responsible for generating those reports and providing those reports to the external auditors. One is CEO of the organization, the other one is CFO, Chief Financial Officer. So both are the CXO level people, or the key decision makers in an organization. So it really is important, shouldn't be taken lightly at all, and it's really very critical from an organizational perspective. I'll just stop my share for 1 minute while I check if you have registered for the raffle. So just bear with me. So please make sure you have registered for the raffle. In case you haven't, you can do it right away. Please do it. Okay. I start sharing my screen again. Please let me know once it is visible. Is it visible to you all? Sure, what's happening here? Please let me know if the screen is visible to you. Thanks, Amit. Thanks for being so helpful. Okay. Now, stay protected against any devastating data breaches and loss. Anything that can cause the loss of data or breaches or changes in data by any of the intruders, right? So SOX has its add-on benefits. It's though it only complies to the organizations which are public traded companies, but it is helpful for I think every organization who is using Salesforce. Now, SOX compliance and how I achieved it in Salesforce. So, though there are multiple other ways as well, I'll give you a little detail about how it can be achieved. What are different parameters that we analyzed, we architected, just to make sure that we are on track with the SOX compliance and even check the reporting. So there are different aspects basically. One of them is checking the user access, who has access to what objects, and what are the financial critical objects like product catalogs, the company, the organizational forecast, the sales forecast, and also any of the connected apps. What are the connected apps, when they were last used, who are the people using it, right, when it was installed, and there are a few more things that we'll be talking in the next slides. So one of the different ways is manual analysis, when you are running actually going from an object to object and profile to profile just to find out who has access to what fields a particular person is having access to, what are the records being shared across teams, across multiple users, right? Who are the account teams, who are the opportunity teams, and one of the biggest topics is who are the delegated administrators, right? All those things needs to be tracked for an organization. If somebody has been given a profile, what is the reason? So take for example somebody in the sales team, he being a sales manager, he has been given a, uh, a privileged permission, like he can actually make changes to the opportunities, or he can make changes to the product catalog, right? Who can make changes to the forecast, right? Who can download the reports, right? All those things, right? If he is the delegated admins, he if he can log in as other users. All those things needs to be checked, right? That requires a lot of manual analysis, and as I told you, this is an ongoing thing. This is not like once you fix something it will be resolved forever. It is never, it is not like that, right? It is an ongoing process. So if I'm doing this this month, I have to redo it again and again and again. So what is the best approach? The best approach is to automate it, right? How I did it, right? So these are the few things that I mentioned, that what are included in the manual analysis. So analyzing user access, profile level permission sets, privileged users, who are the privileged users, custom permissions if any of them are assigned to a user, view all focus, view product catalog, modify all data. That's again a very critical permission to give to anyone mm, without knowing what persona or what day-to-day activities that particular user carries out, and why do he require modify all modify all data permission, right? What are the connected apps that are being part of the Salesforce environment, right? What are the different installed apps inside of your Salesforce, and who are the people using it, right? If it is, like for example, there are n number of applications that are being used, uh, and if you check the OAuth app use, sorry, the connected app usage, you'll be able to find that okay, the last login that was made 3 months ago, right? You can reach out to those people, right? Who is the person who has last logged into that particular app? What was the reason they have? So getting all that data from those users and even checking regularly the audit logs of your org is really very important when it comes to SOX. And going through the audit trail, I would say we working for the SOX as an architect, we really have encountered so many different things, changes across the setup that we have found. And when we checked, okay, few of the people are logging into in as other users. Who are those users who are logging in, right? We checked that, we found that okay, they are not system administrators. Then how can they log into the other log into or log in as other users? We found that they are delegated administrators. We reached out to the people who actually uh, added them as a delegated administrator, asking for the reasons why and what day-to-day activities they do as a being a delegated admin, right? So that's really important. Let's move on to the next slide. So here are a few SQL queries that we use as part of while to automate it. So when we were automating, we thought that okay, one thing should be like user provisioning, how the users are being created, how their profiles are being assigned, what are the permission set groups which are actually aligned, which they are added to, or which are which gives them add-on permissions, what permissions are being given. So if you check this privileged user SQL query, right? So you can see this particular SQL query. It actually targets the permission set assignment object just to find out what are the different permissions, whether permission set dot permissions modify all data, permission set of permission customize the application, permission set dot permissions manage users, right? From permission set assignment where assignee dot is active, so the user is active. One thing to check, and modify all data is equal to true. You can see these are customized application true, permission manage users true, and not assignee dot profile, because administrator we can understand they are frequently making changes in the setup, right? They might be creating some reports, they might be making changes to an object schema, right? Anything and everything related to the same. But non-administrator users, what they are doing, right? Why they are having a particular access, just to find out all those things. These are some custom. These are the a few of the SQL queries that I used. So this is one of them. This is the two privileged user SQL example. So you can see this modifiable data, and this is targeted to user object. It is not targeted to the permission set assignment, right? If a permission set is assigned to a user, a new record automatically creates in the backend, which is permission set assignment record. Now this is the user object, and we are actually querying this to find out which of the user profiles has permission modify all data, permission customize application, profile permission manage users, right? All those different permissions, and the user is active. And even we can you can customize these to any limit that you want, right? You can put in where the profile not equal to system administrator, right? All those things. Now let's move on to the next one. So this query is on the profile itself, right? I'll give you one of the best practice actually, just to make sure that while we are talking SOX, we are also talking about the same, because that's something that we came across in multiple logs while we were checking. And that's one of the ideas that I want to share. So we'll keep it safe for a few minutes. So this is on the user profile. Again, I'm checking here for the permissions, view all data, permissions, view all forecast, permission, customize application, permission, modify all data, manage users, right? And you can see whichever is true, just give us the name and the person, right? So this is one of those privileged access on the profile level. We can check it on the permission set level, right? You can see this permission set. This is not permission set assignment. So how we are checking it? Sorry. Okay, here it is. So it is again permissions view all data. It means we are checking it on the user level. We are checking the user access on the profile level, on the permission set assignment level, on the even on the permissions means even on the delegated admin level as well, right? And all these queries, these are really very simple queries, right? It is not something which is very complicated. Even the slide as admin, right? If can write these queries and get the data, relevant data, whatever they want, right? Peek at access product catalog. You can see the product too. So this is the standard object. Basically, if anyone has access to it, right? Permissions create is equal to true, permissions added is equal to true, and permission delete equals to true. Anyone who can make those changes to a particular product, right? So saving dot name. So this is on the product level. You can see view all forecast. Who are the different people, right? And which what are the permission sets that gives them view all forecast access, right? Select assignee dot name permission set on all. I mean, these are the simplest queries. This again permission set assignment. We are checking from the permission set assignment level, right? Not on the profile. Profile I've already shown you. These all will be provided. Means these slides are already been shared with the Pakistan driven team, and hopefully you'll find these in the coming weeks. Uh, on viewer focus access example by user. So profile.name from user where profile.permission viewer focus equals true and its activity equals true and profile not equal to system administrator. View setup and manage data integrations access example by user based on the user. So select ID name profile.name from user where is active is equal to true and profile.name not system admin and profile.permission manage data integrations. This is again one of the critical permissions to give to a non-administrator user, which is equal to true and profile.permissions view setup equals true. So this is one of the critical permissions, permissions manage data integration. So that's really very important. So should keep in mind. Okay, so this is one of just for the user access level, right? How I did it in for few of our clients, like I created a custom object, right? That custom object actually what it does, so it is mentioned here, automate using batch, apex plus scheduled jobs. I already shared you the queries, right? So using any of those queries, so take for example, you are checking for the view setup permission, you're checking for the view all forecast permission, you're checking for the uh, product catalog permission, right? All those permissions you are checking. So you have to write one individual batch that is running at a scheduled time for a month, maybe. Like every month it will run at a designated time, and it will generate a report. So what it will do basically build brainstorm and build the SQL that fits your need. I have done this previously. I can demo it, but I think I'm already on time, so don't want to take more of your time on that. So you can see I've created just a custom object with two fields: name, which is the standard field, pick list, custom field values, pcat access, whatever values you want to store, whatever are related to the queries that you are running. If it is a pcat query, just name the picklist field value as pcat. If it is like a view or forecast batch that you have written, name it view or forecast, right? Give that quick list. Now, what what this SQL will do, basically it will run at a given time in a month. When it will run, it will generate the results and store that in Excel, means as an Excel file, and create one record into this object, and within the attachment related list, it will save that file, right? And that file can be utilized by the internal auditors to answer the queries of the external auditors. So this is really very important, right? So I think we are trying. These are few of the resources that I wanted to share. Again, these resources will be shared by the Pakistan Dreaming team as well, because the slides they have already. Um, that's all for now about a little walk to SOX. I hope this session was somewhat helpful for you, and hope this will help you in solving few of the queries related to uh, finding out the user access and what are the changes, how those changes are being